Its origins can be traced back to the 19th century and is still practiced as a sport today. We're talking the sport of amateur radio, ham radio, as it's more commonly called. Here to share more on their passion for the wireless is Cherie and Chris Helgens, members of the Charleston Amateur Radio Society. Great to have you both.
Hi, thanks for having us.
All right, first, tell us, what is amateur ham radio? What is it?
So you may be familiar with it. You know, a lot of people think it's, old men sending Morse code or talking about the weather over the radio. But modern ham radio is actually pretty exciting. So think about all the things around you, from your wireless internet to your cell phone. It all operates on radio. And amateur radio kind of gives you the hands-on experience that you get an FCC license, and they allow you to operate and transmit as your own station. And you can do all kinds of exciting things with it.
That's great. What are your call letters?
I'm KO4 BPJ.
I'm KO4 MLJ.
Fantastic. And I see you're in your booth, as it were. You've got some equipment back there. What kind of equipment is required to run a ham radio station?
So it's an interesting hobby. It can really grow with you. So you can actually see back there, and I've got one right here. This is about $25 for a little handy talkie. And it goes all the way up into the thousands of dollars as you get more involved in it. But it's pretty easy to get involved. So you can use a handy talkie like that, or one of those back there is about a $200 mobile station that you can either use in your home or hook up to your car. And then below that, we've got a high frequency one that costs about $500. So there's a whole range. You know, it's easy to get started, but can definitely grow with you.
Occasionally you see some of those tall towers in people's backyards. Is that also required?
That's not required. So again, you can have a handy talkie with what is that, about 4-inch antenna right there, and that'll connect you to some of the repeaters in the area. I've actually got a handful more that are hidden in the garage that do not have to be an eyesore for the entire neighborhood. So no,
they are a little
there's
bit.
whole range. If you're fortunate enough to live out in the country and can put that kind of stuff up, more power to you. But no, normal folks like us can get involved as well.
Well, I want to mention that our producer Kelly Ayers, her father Wayne, he was a ham radio operator, and that's back in the day when you had to know Morse code. But you say that you don't have. That's not a requirement anymore.
Yeah, so it used to be a requirement to get licensed, but I think they've realized that in 2022, not many folks are still doing that. They're trying to get more folks involved in the hobby, so no, not a requirement anymore. Don't let that scare you off.
Yes. This is National Hobby Month, of course, but why do people practice ham radio? What purpose does it serve?
Oh, it's exciting. There's all kinds of things you can do with it. So we actually originally got involved just because we like to go hiking and camping, and we'd often find ourselves in spots where cell phones just didn't work. So we could communicate with the ham radio, and we actually found out there's a lot more to it than that. So we do all kinds of things, like we've actually downloaded pictures from the International Space Station. Wow. We do digital modes, so we can hook all our ham radios up to the computer, and we can do like digital text messaging all across the world. We've run an APRS net, which is essentially a global interconnected GPS tracking system. Just about any STEM field you can think of, there's an interconnection with ham radio, and it's a great way to get the whole family involved in some hands-on science.
That's incredible. Tell us real quick about the Cars Club, if you would.
The Charleston Amateur Radio Society is fantastic. They just celebrated their 50th anniversary last year. They are an excellent resource. So they organize some of the licensing exams in the area. They're extremely welcoming, so they run events where you can get some hands-on with new equipment, new techniques. They meet once a month, I believe, and they're just a fantastic resource. Any questions we've had, any trouble we've had getting started, you can call up one of their members, talk to them, and they will help you out.
And Cherie, tell us how popular this hobby is and how people can get involved.
In my circle, I feel like it's pretty popular. So there are quite a few women in the club, and they're wonderful to hang around with. There's a lot of people getting involved now, especially a lot of younger people. And whenever I talk to my neighbors or my friends about it, they are interested in it. A couple of them have started working on trying to get their license as well. Wow. Once they discover everything. It also involves drones too. You didn't mention that.
Yeah, our neighbor actually got his license so that he could help operate his drone.
That's incredible.
Yeah,
so it really does go into all different fields.
Absolutely. And it's a very, very welcoming community. They're excited to have anyone new show up. I was apprehensive at first, and they were just super welcoming and just enjoyable to be around.
That's it. Well, this has been so much fun to learn more about ham radio. I've been hearing about it my whole life, and I really never knew anything about it, but it really does sound like a lot of fun. Cherie and Chris, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
We're back in 2 minutes.